Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tale, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, and shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now let's get into today's tale. I found her suitcase packed in the garage, her perfume still on his shirt from the night before. She walked out on me and our kids, but I'd be damned if she took our home. Me name's Caleb Preston, 42, a financial advisor in Raleigh, North Carolina, pulling mid-six figures with a talent for securing clients' futures. My life was solid. A craftsman-style house in a quiet suburb, 2 kids, Nora 10 and Ethan 6, and Ivy, my wife of 12 years, whose smile could light up a boardroom or a PTA meeting. We weren't perfect, but we were us. Friday pizza nights, backyard soccer, plans for a beach house someday. Until that night in March 2024, when I saw her with Grant Clayton, and the ground dropped out from under me. Ivy had been distant for months, late nights at her real estate, firm quick glances at her phone, perfume heavier than usual. I chalked it up to stress. Her firm was chasing big commercial deals, and I was buried in tax season. But Nora noticed it too, her eyes narrowing when Ivy missed another school play. Mom's always gone, she'd mutter. Ethan just clung to me, asking when Mommy would read to him again. I kept the family running. School runs, client meetings, dinners on the table, thinking love could bridge the gap. I was wrong. The first twist hit on a rainy Tuesday. I came home early, arms full of groceries, and found Ivy's suitcase in the garage, half-zipped, her silk scarf spilling out. My gut twisted. I checked our bedroom. Her closet was half empty. Then I saw it on the laundry pile, a man's dress shirt reeking of her jasmine perfume, and his cologne. Hands shook as I held it, the fabric proof of a cheating story I'd refused to see. Ivy walked in at 7:03 p.m., her coat damp, eyes wide when she saw me. "Caleb," she said, her voice tight. "We need to talk." She sat me down calm as a lawyer and said she was leaving for Grant Clayton, her firm's top client, a slick developer with a penthouse downtown. "I love him," she said, no tremble, no tears. "I'm sorry." I stood, my voice low. "What about Nora, Ethan?" She looked away. "They'll be fine." With Ethan, she grabbed her suitcase and left the front door slamming like a gunshot. The kids were asleep, thank God. I poured whiskey, the glass cold in my hand, and sat in the dark. Her words looping, "I love him." Nora found me at dawn, her voice sharp. "Where's Mom?" I knelt, my throat tight. "She's gone for a bit, kiddo. We've got this." Her eyes too wise for 10 hardened. Ethan woke later crying for her, and I held him, me heart cracking. I called my dad, Raymond Preston, a retired cop with a steel spine. "You're enough for them, son," he said, his voice gruff. "Keep moving." So I did. School drop-offs, client calls, bedtime stories, while the ache grew heavy as lead. The second twist came a month later. I was checking Nora's iPad for homework when a notification pinged Ivy's social media, a photo of her and Grant at a Miami rooftop bar. Her laugh bright, his arm around her. Nora saw it too, her face crumpling. "She doesn't want us," she whispered, storming to her room. I followed, my voice steady. "She wants you soft. She's just lost." But I didn't believe it. I hired a Pi, Logan Maloney, an old friend from college, to dig into Grant. "He's a player," Logan said, sliding a folder across his desk. "Multiple affairs, shady land deals. Ivy's not his first." My stomach churned. Was she just another fling? I kept it from the kids. But Nora's anger grew, her drawings dark with jagged lines. Ethan stopped asking for her, his silence louder than tears. The third twist hit in June when Ivy called out of the blue, "Caleb, I'm coming home." She said, her voice soft, shaky. I made a mistake, my pulse race. Hope and rage colliding. I met her at a coffee shop, her eyes dull, no trace of Miami's glow. "Grant's gone," she said, sipping latte. "He cheated. I want to fix us." I leaned back, my hand steady. "You left our kids. Ivy, you don't get to waltz back." She flinched, tears welling. "I want them, Caleb, my family, her family." I walked out the rally, heat suffocating, her plea echoing. Was she back for love, or because she'd lost? The fourth twist came a week later when a process server knocked. Ivy had filed for custody of Nora and Ethan, claiming I was unstable and demanding the house our house paid for with my sweat while she danced with Grant. My blood boiled. Nora overheard, her voice fierce. "I'm not going with her." Ethan clung to me. Silent, I called Logan, my dad, who growled, "Fight Caleb for them." I hired Jenna Wheeler, a bulldog of a lawyer, and vowed to protect my kids. Ivy had left us broken. But I'd rebuilt us stronger. She wouldn't take that away. Jenna Wheeler's office smelled of leather and determination, the Raleigh skyline glinting through her window as she slammed a legal pad on her desk. Ivy's custody claim is weak. She said, her voice sharp, but her lawyer's a snake claims you're neglecting the kid's emotional needs. Neglecting the word. Burned Ivy's suitcase and Grant Clayton's cologne, soaked shirt flashing in my mind. She'd walked out on Nora and Ethan left me to pick up the pieces, and now she wanted to tear our family apart again. I leaned forward, my fist tight. She doesn't get to. Take them, I said. Jenna nodded, her pen flying. We'll bury her in court, get me everything, text bank records, proof she bailed. I left the July heat heavy and swore I'd fight like hell for my kids back home. Nora was sketching storm clouds, her pencil stabbing. The paper mom can't have us, she said, her voice fierce for a 10-year-old. Ethan curled on the couch, clutched his stuffed dinosaur, silent since Ivy's call. I knelt beside him, my hand on his shoulder. You're safe, buddy. I said, my voice steady. He nodded, but his eyes were distant. 6-year-old's heart cracked by betrayal. I kept their routine tight, school, soccer, bedtime stories while meeting clients, by day advising on portfolios to keep the mortgage paid. My dad Raymond moved in temporarily, his gruff presence a lifeline. You're doing right? Caleb, he'd say, flipping pancakes for the kids. But at night, Ivy's words, I want my family haunted. Me her jasmine perfume, a ghost in our house. The first twist hit in August when Logan Malonamy Pie called me to a diner he slid a USB drive across the table. His eyes grim. Ivy's been busy, he said. The drive held photo Ivy and Grant at a rally bar weeks after she'd claimed he cheated and left their hand was on his arm. Her smile too bright, they're back together. Logan said, Grant's bankrolling her lawyer. Looks like he's pushing her to fight for the house, probably wants to flip it. My blood roared. Ivy playing the repentant mom while cozying up to Grant again. I gripped the table, the diner's neon buzzing. Get more, I told Logan. I need proof she's unfit. He nodded, slipping the drive back into his coat. I showed Jenna the photos, her lips curling. This is gold, she said, drafting a motion to subpoena Ivy's finances. If Grant's funding her, will prove she's prioritizing him over the kids. Nodded, but Nora's storm cloud drawings and Ethan's silence weighed on me. I took them to therapy. A soft-spoken woman named Dr. Naomi Harper, who helped Nora vent her rage and Ethan find words for his hurt mom left. Ethan whispered one sessions. Dinosaur tight in his arms. Why does she want us now? I hugged him, he throat burning. We'll figure it out, bud, I said. But the question gnawed at me. The second twist came in September, when Ivy showed up at the house unannounced, her SUV idling in the driveway. Nora saw her first slamming her bedroom door. I met Ivy at the porch. My arms crossed, the evening air thick with pine. You don't just walk in, I said, my voice low. She wore a tailored blazer, her hair perfect, but her eyes were tired. I miss them, Caleb, she said, stepping closer, her perfume stirring old memories. Let me see them. I blocked the door. You left them for Grant. Now you're back with him and you think you get to play mom. Her face fell, guilt flashing. I'm not with him. She lied, her voice shaky. I just want my kids. I pointed to her SUV. Go talk to my lawyers. He left, her taillights fading, but Nora's door stayed shut. Her sobs muffled through the wood. Logan dug deeper, pulling Ivy's bank records. The third twist, Grant had wired her 50,000 labeled consulting fees days before her custody filing. Jenna pounced, filing to question Grant's influence in court. This shows she's unstable. Jenna said, her eyes gleaming. No judge will give her custody with a shady ex-lover bankrolling her. I nodded, but the victory felt hollow. Nora refused to talk about Ivy, her anger a wall, while Ethan started wetting the bed, his dinosaur. Now a constant shielding up their therapy sessions, my own exhaustion creeping in sleepless nights, client deadlines, the weight of being both parents. Raymond saw it, clapping my shoulder. You're their rock, son. Don't crack. I didn't. But the edges were fraying. The fourth twist hit in October at a school event. I dragged myself to Nora's teacher. Mrs. Ruby Evans pulled me aside. Her voice low. Nora wrote an essay she said, handing me a paper. It was titled, My Hero Detailing, How I'd Kept the Family Together After Ivy Left, Every Late Night Story and Soccer Games. He won't live with her mom. Ruby added, she told me I read it. Nora's words a lifeline, but then Ruby dropped. A bomb. Ivy's been emailing the school claiming you're alienating the kids. Alienating my blood-boiled Ivy who'd abandoned them, was spinning lies to paint me as the villain. I thanked Ruby, pocketed the essay, and called Jen Ivy's playing dirty. I said, shut it down. Jenna grinned, already drafting a response. By November, the custody battle loomed set for January. I hired a forensic accountant, Delilah Lynch, to trace Grant's payments, proving Ivy's ties to his shady deals. Logan tailed them, catching Grant and Ivy at a hotel, her laughter echoing in photos that twisted my gut. I kept it from the kids, but Nora sensed their drawings now. Black voids, Ethan asked, "Is Mom bad?" I hugged him, the question a knife, "She's just lost." But I said, but I wasn't sure anymore. Fortified our home, new locks, tighter budgets, more time with the kids. While Jenna built a case to crush Ivy's claims, I wasn't just fighting for custody, I was fighting for the life I'd rebuilt from her betrayal. That night I stood in the backyard, the rally stars, sharp Nora's essay in my H. Sharp Nora's essay in my H. And Ivy wanted our kids, our house, but I'd given everything to keep us whole. Could I forgive her? Return, or was this a war only one of us could win? The rally winter bit at my knuckles as I stood in the backyard. Nora's my hero essay crumpled in my fistits. Words a shield against Ivy's custody war. She'd left us for Grant. Clayton lied about their breakup and now fought to take Nora. Ethan in our home, bankrolled by his dirty money. Jenna Wheeler, me lawyer, had built a fortress of evidence. Ivy's abandonment. Grant's $50,000 consulting payments, photos of their hotel trysts. But the January court date loomed like a storm. Nora's black void drawings and Ethan's bedwetting were scars from Ivy's betrayal. And I'd be damned if I let her rip them from me. I tucked the essay in my pocket, the stars sharp overhead, and vowed to fight, not just for custody, but for the family I'd rebuilt from her ashes. Jenna called me to her office in December. Her desk piled with files. "We've got Ivy's lawyer on the ropes," she said, sliding over a report from Delilah Lynch, the forensic accountant. Delilah had traced Grant's payments to offshore accounts, linked to fraudulent land deals with Ivy's name on several transfers. She didn't know they were illegal. Jenna said, "But it proves she's entangled with a crook. No judge will trust her with kids." I nodded, my jaw tight, but Nora's essay burned in my mind. She'd called me her hero, but heroes don't let their kids hurt. I called Logan Malone my pie and pushed for more. Find Grant's endgame. I said he's not just funding her for love. Logan grunted on it. Caleb, the first twist hit before Christmas, at a school holiday concert where Nora sang her voice clear. Despite the shadows in her eyes, I was clapping when Logan texted Grant's at a rally, penthouse Ivy's. With him got video. My phone buzzed with a clip. Ivy and Grant in a heated argument on a balcony, her hands flailing his face. Cold, Logan called. He's pressuring her to sell the house post-custody. He said wants to develop the land. My blood boiled. Ivy wasn't. Just after the kids, she and Grant were playing a long game to cash out our home. I forwarded the video to Jenna, who grinned. "This buries them," she said, filing it for court, but Ethan, watching Nora sing, tugged my sleeve. "Is Mom coming?" I hugged him. His dinosaur. Pressed between us, just us tonight. "Buddy," said, my heart cracking. I doubled down on the kids, taking them ice skating, baking cookies with Raymond, who'd become their rock, Nora's therapy with Dr. Naomi. Harper helped her channel anger into words, but she refused to see Ivy, her voice fierce. "She left us, Dad. She doesn't get me." Ethan was quieter, his bedwetting easing, but he drew pictures of our house always with me and Nora, never Ivy. I kept their lives steady, school projects, client meetings, mortgage payments. While Jenna prepped for court, Raymond saw my exhaustion, pouring coffee. "One dawn, you're their whole world." "Caleb," he said, "don't doubt it." I didn't, but Ivy's lies claiming I'd alienated the kids cut deep. Was I enough? The second twist came in early January when Jenna got a tip from a court clerk. Ivy's lawyer, a shark named Marcus Grayson, planned to call a surprise witness, Grant Clayton. "He'll claim you harassed Ivy, made her leave." Jenna said, her eyes narrowing. "We need to discredit him first." I met Logan at a dive bar, the air thick with smoke. He slid me a folder, Grant's rap sheet. Tax evasion, a dropped assault charge, and a pending SEC investigation for fraudy's radioactive. Logan said Grayson's insane to put him on the stand. I handed it to Jenna, who filed to question Grant's credibility. "If he testifies," she said, "we'll shred him." I nodded, but the thought of Grant in court spinning lies about me fueled my rage. I punched a bag at the gym that night, the rally cold seeping into my bones. Nora's essay, my anchor. The third twist hit days before the trial, when Ivy showed up at the house uninvited, her SUV gleaming under the streetlights. Nora was at a sleepover, Ethan asleep upstairs. I met her on the porch, my arms crossed, the air crisp. I'm dropping the custody fights, said her voice. Low eyes read Grant's, leaving me. I can't do this. My pulse spiked suspicion, drowning relief. Why now, I asked. She looked away, her scar fluttering. I saw Nora's essay. She hates me. I don't want to hurt them more. I studied her, the woman I'd loved now. A stranger. You hurt them when you left. I said, my voice steel. She nodded. Tears falling. I know, I'm sorry. Owen, sorry. I pointed to her car. Go, she drove off, but her surrender felt like a trap. I called Jenna, who was skeptical. She might be gaming the judge. Said, stay sharp. The trial began January 15th. 2025 in a Raleigh courtroom, the wood panels cold under my hands. Jenna presented our case. Ivy's abandonment bank records showing her absence, Nora's essay. Ethan's therapy notes. Nora called to speak, stood tall, her voice clear. I want to stay with Dad, she said, glaring at Ivy. He never left us. The judge nodded, her face unreadable. Grayson called Grant, who took the stand, his suit pristine, claiming I'd driven Ivy away. Jenna tore into him, flashing his rap sheet, the SEC probe, and Logan's video. Is it true you pressured Miss Preston to sell her home for profit? Jenna asked, her voice a blade. Grant stammered, the courtroom buzzing. Grayson withdrew him, his case crumbling. Ivy sat silent, her eyes down, no tear. Ow. The fourth twist came mid-trial when Dr. Harper testified Nora and Ethan thrive with Caleb. She said, her voice calm. Ivy's absence caused significant trauma. Then she dropped a bomb. Ivy had contacted her offering gifts to sway the kids, which Nora rejected. Miss Preston's focus is on control, not connection. Harper said. I gripped my chair, stunned. Ivy bribing my kids. The judge's pen paused. Her eyes sharp. Jenna leaned in, whispering, we've got her. The courtroom felt electric, my kids' future hanging in the balance. The judge ruled on January 20th, full custody to me, the house mine. Ivy granted supervised visits if the kids agreed. Nora hugged me, her smile fierce, while Ethan clung to his dinosaur, whispering, we're okay. Dad. Ivy left without a word, her SUV vanishing into the rally. Dusk. Jenna clapped my shoulder. You did it. Caleb. I nodded, but the wind felt heavy. I'd protected my kids, but at what cost to their hearts? Spring brought a new rhythm. Nora's drawings brightened, Ethan's nightmares faded, and Raymond moved back to his place, his gruff hugs a constant. I met Isla Donovan, a pediatric nurse at Ethan's check-upper. Warm laugh, a spark in my gray world. She didn't push, just shared coffee, listened to Nora's soccer stories, and never asked about Ivy. One night, Isla left a note on my car, you're doing great. Caleb, keep shining. I smiled, the first real one in months, and tucked it in my wallet. Now I'm in our backyard. Nora kicking a soccer ball, Ethan chasing fireflies. The rally stars, soft above Ivy's visits, are rare. Nora's choice and Ethan's warming to her, but I'm there. Anchor Isla's laugh echoes in my mind, a possibility, not a promise. I've got my kids, my home, my fight, but could I open my heart again? Or is trust a bridge too far? Trust a